Daniel Carter floated into the space station conference room. The walls glowed with alien symbols he still didn't understand. His dress shoes clicked on the metal floor as he walked to the human section. 6 other ambassadors followed behind him, their suits pressed crisp and their faces set hard with purpose. At the circular table sat the 7 most powerful beings in the galaxy. Carter recognized them from the briefing files. Chancellor Vexthor's crystalline body caught the lights and threw rainbows across the ceiling. The Dren ambassador swam in his liquid-filled suit. The Zorax leader's silicon form scraped against his metal chair as he shifted. "Welcome, humans," Vexthor's translated voice echoed around the room. "We have called you here today to settle the matter of your illegal colonies in the Outer Rim territories." Carter adjusted his tie and sat down. Rachel Martinez slid into the seat beside him. Her fingers drummed a quick pattern on the table. 3 taps meant stay alert. The aliens watched their every move. "We appreciate this opportunity to discuss our presence in the Outer Rim," Carter said. His voice stayed level and calm. "Our colonies have been there for 20 years. We've invested resources and sent families to make homes on those worlds." Vexthor leaned forward. His crystal face reflected a dozen images of Carter. "Those territories fall under our protection treaty. Article 7, subsection 12 clearly states no new species may colonize without council approval. We weren't aware of this treaty when we first arrived in the galaxy," Carter replied. He kept his hands visible on the table. "We sent messages asking for contact. No one responded for 10 years. The Dren ambassador's vocalizer bubbled underwater before producing words. "Ignorance of laws does not excuse breaking them. The Outer Rim has been neutral space for 8,000 years. James Wright tensed in his seat. As military liaison, he had spotted the security implications right away. 4 heavily armed ships surrounded the station. Their weapons remained powered down, but their targeting systems stayed active. The aliens claimed they were for protection. "Perhaps we could discuss a compromise," Carter suggested. "Our colonists have built entire cities. They've had children who know no other home. Surely we can find a solution that works for everyone." Vexthor's crystal fingers tapped a rhythm on the table. Carter noticed all the alien delegates moved their head equivalents in time with the taps. A signal, perhaps. Rachel caught his eye and gave a tiny nod. She'd noticed too. "We have prepared a proposal," Vexthor announced. A holographic document appeared above the table. Alien text scrolled down in glowing lines. The translator struggled with technical terms. "The Galaxy Peace Preservation Act," the translator finally announced. "You may keep 3 of your colonies. The rest must be abandoned. Within 1 standard galactic cycle, you will pay tribute to the Council for using Outer Rim space, and you will accept junior member status." Carter read through the translation. Each line made his jaw tighten. Junior members couldn't vote on Council decisions. They had no say in galactic laws. Their tribute payments would drain Earth's economy for decades. "We need time to review this proposal," Carter said. His team's faces showed their shock at the harsh terms. "You have 1 rotation," Vexthor declared. The crystal being rose smoothly to his feet. "When we return tomorrow, we expect your acceptance." The alien delegates filed out in order of their species age. The Thek first, then the Dren, then the others. Only the Zorax remained, his silicon eyes studying the humans. "Your kind lacks proper respect," the Zorax growled. His voice grated like grinding rocks. "The Council shows mercy by offering this bargain. Accept it or face the consequences." James Wright stood up to his full height. The Marine training showed in his stance. "Is that a threat?" "A promise," the Zorax replied. He turned and lumbered out the door. His heavy footsteps echoed down the corridor. Once alone, the human team gathered close. Rachel pulled out a small device and activated its anti-surveillance field. A faint hum filled the air as their voices became scrambled to any listening equipment. "They're planning something," Rachel whispered. "Those synchronized movements weren't random, they're using a code we haven't cracked yet." Lisa Brooks nodded. As commander of their security team, She'd tracked every alien movement since arrival. Their guard ships moved into attack formation 3 times during the meeting, each time someone challenged their demands. Carter loosened his tie. The weight of representing humanity pressed down on him. 50 billion people waited for news of these talks. The fate of human colonies rested on his decisions. "Pull up everything we have on their military capabilities," he ordered, "and get me a secure line to Fleet Command. I want our ships ready, but hidden." The team spent the next 6 hours reviewing classified data. The alien fleets outnumbered human ships 10 to 1. Their technology seemed superior in most areas, but the reports contained holes, things the aliens hadn't explained or demonstrated. Pete Johnson's voice crackled over the comm system. As governor of the largest human colony, he provided valuable intelligence. "Ambassador, our deep space probes detected council ships gathering at the border systems. They're massing for something big." "How many?" Carter asked. "At least 200 warships. They're moving into position around our colonies. Sir, they're not waiting for your decision. They're preparing to take our worlds by force." Carter's coffee mug cracked in his grip. Hot liquid spilled across the conference table. This wasn't a negotiation. The council had decided humanity's fate before the talks even began. "Get me everything we intercepted during the meeting," he demanded. "Every communication between their delegates, every ship movement, every power reading from their vessels." Rachel worked quickly at her terminal, screens filled with data streams and signal interpretations. The alien delegates had sent hundreds of encrypted messages during the talks. Their ships had performed complex scans of the human vessels. "They were profiling our technology," Rachel said, "looking for weaknesses, and they kept referring to something called Operation Harvest in their coded signals." James Wright's combat experience kicked in. "That's a military term. They're planning to harvest our colonies, probably our resources and prisoners." Carter stood and paced the room. His footsteps echoed in the sudden silence. Every member of his team waited for orders. The burden of command had never felt heavier. Outside the viewport, stars gleamed cold and distant. Somewhere among them waited the human fleet. Hidden in nebulae and behind asteroid fields were ships carrying Earth's finest technology the Council hadn't seen in action yet. "Tomorrow morning, when we return to that meeting," Carter said firmly, "we're going to change the game. No more playing by their rules. No more accepting their terms." Lisa Brooks smiled grimly. "What's the plan, sir?" "We show them humanity doesn't beg for permission to exist," Carter replied. "We announce our presence as equals, not supplicants. And if they want war, we'll give them something to think about." The team exchanged glances. They'd all signed up knowing humanity might face conflict in the stars. But standing up to a council that had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years? That was something else entirely. Rachel pulled up tactical displays. "If we reject their terms, they'll likely attack immediately. We should assume the station itself is a trap. Then we'll spring their trap on them," Carter said. "Contact the fleet. Tell them to be ready for my signal. Tell them humanity is done asking permission." As the artificial night cycle began on the station, the human delegation prepared their counteroffensive. They reviewed defense protocols, checked emergency escape routes, and double-checked their evacuation procedures. Carter stood at the window watching space. Somewhere out there, alien warships prepared to crush humanity's spirit. The Council had ruled without challenge for so long they'd forgotten how newcomers could upset the balance. "Sir," James Wright said quietly, "are we really doing this? Starting a war with the entire galaxy?" Carter didn't turn from the window. "They started it the moment they decided we weren't worthy of equality. We're just finishing the conversation. The next morning would change everything. No more would humanity ask for scraps from the galactic table. Tomorrow, they would demand their place as equals or forge their own path among the stars." Morning came too quickly aboard the space station. Daniel Carter hadn't slept. Instead, he'd spent the night reviewing battle reports from Earth's war games. The alien delegates arrived at exactly the designated time. Their punctuality felt like another form of control. "Ambassador Carter," Vexthor began, his crystal body refracting the morning light cycle. "Have you considered our generous offer?" Carter smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "We have indeed studied your proposal very carefully, and we've discovered some interesting information during our review." The alien delegates shifted in their seats. The Dren ambassador's liquid suit rippled with nervous energy. Carter nodded to Rachel, who activated the central hologram projector. A galaxy map appeared above the table. Human colonies glowed in blue. Council territories showed in gold, but new markings appeared in red, classified Council military positions. "During our research last night, our deep space sensors detected these formations," Carter explained. His voice remained steady despite the tension building in the room. 200 warships positioned to surround our colonies. Vex Thor's crystal face revealed no emotion. "Standard defensive precautions, we must ensure order during these negotiations." "By preparing for a full invasion?" James Wright interrupted. He stood and pointed at specific coordinates. "These aren't defensive positions. They're attack formations designed to hit our colonies simultaneously." The Zorax delegate slammed his silicon fist on the table. Cracks spiderwebbed across the surface. "You dare question the Council's military deployments?" "We question why peace talks require 200 armed warships," Carter replied. He remained seated while his security team subtly moved closer. Lisa Brooks had her hand near her sidearm but kept it hidden. Rachel activated another display. Intercepted communications scrolled across the hologram. Alien script translated into English in real time. The room fell silent as everyone read the messages. "Operation Harvest," Carter read aloud. "Commence immediately after human surrender. Category 1. Remove all human military assets. Category 2. Seize valuable technology and resources. Category 3. Relocate human populations for indentured labor programs." The Dren ambassador's translator stuttered. "These transmissions are fabricated. We intercepted them directly from your ship's quantum comm arrays," Rachel cut in. "Timestamps match your delegation's private meetings yesterday. Someone here has been coordinating with your military fleets throughout these talks." Vex Thor finally showed emotion. His crystalline structure darkened as internal light dimmed. "You humans have advanced surveillance capabilities beyond our estimates." "We have many capabilities you've underestimated," Carter said. He stood slowly, deliberately. "These peace talks were never meant to succeed. You'd already decided to conquer us. The negotiations were just theater to justify your invasion." "Careful with your accusations, human," the Zorax growled. His silicon eyes glowed brighter with agitation. "The Council has maintained peace for millennia. One species does not dictate terms to 7. Carter ignored the threat. He pulled out a data chip and set it carefully on the table. "This contains full documentation of your military plans. Ship movements, fleet compositions, supply lines, target priorities. Everything your admirals shared with Chancellor Vex Thor." "Where did you obtain such information?" Vex Thor demanded. For the first time, his crystals resonated with a sound like shattering glass. "From the network you thought was secure," Rachel answered. "Your species have been the dominant power for so long you forgot to upgrade your encryption. Human quantum computers cracked your communications in 6 hours." The alien delegates erupted into arguments among themselves. The translator struggled to keep up with multiple overlapping conversations. Accusations flew between species. Each blamed the others for security failures. James Wright seized the moment. "Your military advantage isn't what you thought either. Human defensive technology has made significant advances. Advances you haven't accounted for in your invasion plans." "Impossible." The Zorax spat the word like acid. "Our intelligence reports show human ships barely match our civilian vessels in firepower." "Your intelligence is 20 years old," Carter revealed. "Based on our first contact probes, would you like to see what we've developed since then?" He nodded to Lisa Brooks, who activated her comm device. Outside the station, human ships decloaked from their hiding spots. The display screen showed real-time footage as 6 massive vessels appeared from behind asteroids and nebula clouds. The alien delegates froze. Their ship's sensors screamed warnings about the unexpected human presence. The Council fleet began taking up defensive positions. "Meet humanity's newest ships," Carter announced. "Equipped with shield technology your weapons can't penetrate. Powered by zero-point energy modules your science says are impossible. Armed with precision gravity weapons that bypass traditional armor." The hologram shifted to show internal schematics. The aliens leaned forward despite themselves. Engine, designs beyond their technology, weapon systems using physics they hadn't mastered, defense shields that warped space-time. "Where did you obtain such knowledge?" The Dren ambassador's voice bubbled with shock. "This technology requires thousands of years of development. We've monitored your progress. Humans have only reached space in your recent history." "We had good teachers," Rachel said mysteriously. "Some species aren't fond of the Council's rule. They were happy to share information with newcomers willing to challenge the status quo." Vexthor's crystal body began resonating at a frequency that made the windows vibrate. "You've been conspiring with our enemies?" "We've been building alliances," Carter corrected. "Relationships based on mutual respect rather than dominance. 7 species form the Council. How many species live under your rules against their will?" The question hung in the air. The translator faithfully repeated it in 7 languages. No one provided an answer. "Your true colors show now," Vexthor finally declared. "You come to negotiate while hiding military forces. You claim peace while plotting with our adversaries. You prove why the Council must limit dangerous species like humanity." Carter's expression hardened. "We hid our forces because we discovered your intent to conquer us regardless of negotiations. We made alliances because you denied us legitimate participation in galactic politics. Every action we've taken has been in response to your aggression." "The Council maintains order," Vexthor insisted. His crystals pulsed with agitation. "For 8,000 years we have prevented chaos among the stars." "You've maintained control," Carter countered. "Control through forced tribute. Control through limited resources. Control through the threat of military subjugation. That's not peace, that's fear." James Wright pulled up more intercepted data. "Your own records show 43 species currently classified as limited junior members. 15 species listed as resource providers with restricted sovereignty. 27 species that mysteriously went extinct after opposing Council policies. These records are sealed for security reasons," the Zorax protested weakly. "They were," Rachel agreed, "until last night. The quantum processors work quite efficiently when properly motivated." The station's lights flickered as the Council's ships increased power to their weapons. Human vessels responded by raising their mysterious shields. Energy readings on the station's monitors spiked into the red zone. "Stand down your military forces," Vexthor commanded, "or face immediate consequences." Carter looked at his team. Each nodded slightly. They were ready. "We came here in good, faith-seeking dialogue. You came planning conquest. The question is simple. Will you negotiate as equals, or must we forge our own path in the galaxy?" "The Council does not negotiate with primitive species who threaten our order," Vexthor declared. "You have 10 minutes to surrender unconditionally or be destroyed." Carter reached for his comm device. His finger hovered over the emergency beacon. Pressing it would signal the full human fleet hidden throughout the sector. War would begin immediately. "We offer one final proposal," Carter said quietly. "Stand down your invasion force. Recognize our right to exist in the galaxy as equals. Allow us the same privileges given to Council members. In return, we will share the technological advances you saw today, advances that could benefit all species." The alien delegates conferred frantically. Their translators created a cacophony of sound as they debated. The Zorax advocated for immediate attack. The Dren pleaded for caution. The crystalline Thek remained silent, their internal lights flickering as they calculated probabilities. "Your technology," Vexthor finally spoke, "is it truly superior to our defensive capabilities? Would you like a demonstration?" James Wright offered. He signaled to the fleet. One human destroyer moved forward and fired a single shot at an asteroid. The gravity weapon struck in silence. The asteroid didn't explode. Instead, it folded in on itself, collapsing into a tiny point of infinite density before winking out of existence. Where a mountain-sized rock had floated, only empty space remained. The display screens showed the Council fleet's shields flaring uselessly at their highest setting. Their own sensors confirmed the impossible. A weapon that bypassed all known defensive technology. Your ship's shields are rated for energy weapons, Lisa Brooks explained. Kinetic impacts. 2 hours passed without response from the Council delegates. Daniel Carter spent the time preparing for the inevitable outcome. His team had wargamed this scenario countless times. Now reality approached faster than expected. The alien delegates returned together. Their expressions remained unreadable to human eyes, but their body language spoke volumes. Vexthor's crystals glowed a deeper shade than before. The Dren ambassador's suit rippled more slowly than earlier. "We have consulted our respective governments," Vexthor announced. His translator added formal tones that hadn't been present before. "The Council has reached a unanimous decision." Carter braced himself. His team moved almost imperceptibly to defensive positions. "Our offer stands unchanged," Vexthor continued. "You will accept junior membership status, tribute payments, and colony restrictions. In addition, you will surrender your advanced defensive shield technology for Council inspection." James Wright started to protest, but Carter held up a hand. "And if we refuse? The Council will regrettably be forced to contain this threat to galactic stability," Vexthor replied. "Your refusal would leave us no alternative but to implement restrictions by force." Carter stood slowly. His chair scraped against the floor with deliberate loudness. "Let me make sure I understand your final position. We must surrender our sovereignty, pay tribute indefinitely, give up our colonies, and hand over our defensive technology. In return, you'll grant us the privilege of existing under your supervision." "Precisely," the Zorax rumbled. "The Council's mercy knows bounds." "Then we have nothing further to discuss," Carter stated flatly. He turned to his team. "Pack up our materials. We're leaving." Confused murmurs rippled through the alien delegates. Their translator struggled with the sudden shift in conversation. "You cannot simply walk away," Vexthor said, his crystals darkening with agitation. "These negotiations determine the fate of your species." Carter ignored him. "Rachel, encrypt all our data. James, signal our ships to prepare for immediate departure. Lisa, ensure our security protocols are active." The human team moved with practiced efficiency. Datapads disappeared into protective cases. Secure terminals powered down after wiping their memory cores. The aliens watched with growing alarm as the humans began deactivating their equipment. "Stop!" The Dren ambassador surged forward in his liquid suit. "You must continue negotiations. Walking away solves nothing." Carter finally turned back to face them. "Walking away solves everything. You've revealed your true intentions. You never planned to negotiate in good faith. These talks were cover for your invasion fleet." "That is not," Vexthor began. "Operation Harvest," Carter interrupted. "Your military plans to seize our colonies, technology, and population. Did you think we would forget this revelation in the span of 2 hours?" The alien delegates shifted uncomfortably. Their grand deception had been laid bare. "We offer you a path to survival," the Zorax insisted. "The alternative is extinction." Carter pulled a small device from his pocket. A standard data chip, identical to thousands others. He held it up for all to see. "This contains complete records of our interception logs, your private communications, fleet movement orders, invasion plans, everything that proves the Council's duplicity." "Destroy that at once," Vexthor commanded. His crystals flared with bright urgency. "It's already broadcast throughout the sector," Rachel informed them. She tapped her datapad with satisfaction. "Every species within 50 light-years has received copies, including your restricted junior members." The aliens erupted into chaos. Various species shouted accusations and demands. The Zorax threatened military action. The Thek calculated damage control. The Dren ambassador pleaded for reason. The translator couldn't keep up with the overlapping voices. Carter raised his voice above the din. "The galaxy will see your true nature. How many species have you bullied into submission? How many technologies have you suppressed to maintain your dominance? How many civilizations have mysteriously disappeared after opposing your rule? You cannot prove any illegal actions, Vexthor said, attempting to regain control. The Council operates within established galactic law. Law you wrote to serve your interests, James Wright countered. Law that defines might as right and compliance as virtue. We're returning to our ships now, don't try to stop us. The Zorax moved to block the exit. His massive silicon frame filled the doorway. You will not leave until this matter is resolved. Lisa. Brooke stepped forward confidently. Her hand rested casually near her sidearm. Behind her, human security personnel moved into formation. Are you threatening violence against a diplomatic team under negotiation protocols? We are preventing a security breach, the Zorax growled. You're committing an act of war, Carter corrected. Detaining diplomats violates every treaty in the galaxy. Even the ones you wrote. Vexthor quickly intervened. Stand aside. Let them go. His crystals pulsed rapidly as he calculated the political fallout. This incident must be contained through proper channels. The Zorax reluctantly stepped aside. The human team filed past him, maintaining disciplined spacing. Carter paused at the doorway. Before we go, he said to all the delegates, understand this. Humanity rejects your authority. We will develop our colonies without restriction. We will expand our presence in the galaxy as equals, not subjects. And we will share our advanced technology with any species interested in genuine cooperation. You're declaring war on the Council, the Dren ambassador stated with certainty. No, Carter replied calmly. We're declaring independence from your control. War is what happens when empires refuse to accept change. That choice is yours. The human delegation moved through the station corridors with purpose. Other alien species watched them pass. Maintenance workers, service personnel, security teams from different races, all had heard the raised voices from the conference room. As they boarded their shuttle, Carter noticed something. A maintenance worker, a species he recognized as Vexta, made eye contact and nodded almost imperceptibly. Not all races supported the Council's oppressive structure. Seeds of doubt had been planted. Back aboard the USS Determination, Captain Steve Miller greeted them. Admiral Thompson reports all ships are ready, sir. The fleet positioned as planned. Carter moved to the command console. Open a channel to the Council ships. Static cleared to reveal Vexthor's angry crystalline face. Ambassador Carter, you've committed an act of unprecedented aggression. The Council will respond with appropriate force. Send the message anyway, Carter ordered Miller. The captain nodded and activated the quantum comm array. Attention Council fleet, Carter broadcast. We know about Operation Harvest. We've shared all evidence with the galactic community. History will record who chose violence here today. He signaled to cut the transmission. Outside the viewports, the human fleet maintained defensive positions. Energy signatures showed the Council ships had their weapons charged, but not yet locked. On targets, sir, Rachel approached with her datapad. We're receiving quantum burst communications from 17 different species. They're requesting verification of the intelligence we shared. Send full confirmations, Carter directed. Include everything. Battle plans, invasion orders, interrogation protocols for human prisoners. Let the galaxy see exactly who the Council really serves. James Wright checked tactical displays. Council fleet is still building power. They're definitely preparing for conflict, but they haven't given attack orders yet. Carter made his decision, the one that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. Open, ship-wide communications, he commanded. When the channel activated, he spoke clearly. This is Ambassador Carter. In 3 minutes, we will execute emergency jump protocols. Every ship will return to its assigned position near human colonies. If the Council follows us, we will implement defensive measures only. We will not fire first, but we will defend ourselves with everything we have. Cheers erupted through the ship. 3 months of secret preparation was about to be tested. The crew had trained intensively for this moment. Calculation complete for multi-ship quantum jump, the navigation officer reported. All vessels confirm ready status. Carter took a deep breath. 20 years of human space exploration led to this moment. First contact, expansion, discovery of the Council's existence, and now deliberate defiance of their authority. Execute jump in 3, 2, 1. Space twisted around the human fleet. Stars elongated into lines. Reality blurred at the edges of perception. Then silence as 100 ships disappeared from normal space. Left behind, the Council fleet faced empty space where humans had been. The massive invasion force prepared to conquer colonies now had no targets to attack. Their carefully orchestrated plans unraveled in minutes. Vexthor stared at the empty void. Around him, his fellow Council members demanded explanations. How had primitives developed such advanced technology? Who had helped them? What other secrets did they possess? But the biggest question remained unspoken. What happened when an ancient empire faced its first real challenge in 8,000 years? The Council had forgotten how to respond to defiance. Their protocols assumed submission or destruction. Humanity's third option had never been considered. In the nebula where human ships regrouped, Carter addressed his fleet. Today we told the galaxy's oldest power that we won't bow. 3 weeks after the dramatic walkout, human colonies on the edge of known space remained on high alert. The USS Determination had returned to Earth, where Daniel Carter found himself in the underground bunker of Global Defense Command. Banks of screens showed real-time data from across human territory. General William Hayes greeted Carter and his team as they entered the command center. "Mr. Ambassador, the situation is developing faster than our best projections predicted." "Show us," Carter responded, still wearing his rumpled suit from non-stop emergency meetings. The central display illuminated with a star map. Red indicators marked Council fleet positions. Blue showed human defenses. But a new color had appeared. Green markers scattered throughout the galaxy. "These green dots represent species making contact with our embassies," Hayes explained. 37 civilizations in 21 days. They're all requesting information about the intelligence you released. Rachel Martinez studied the data streams. The Council tried to block the transmissions, but our quantum encryption was too strong. Every major power received complete copies before they could institute jamming protocols. "What's the Council's official response been?" Carter asked. "General," Hayes pulled up intercepted diplomatic communications. "They're scrambling to control the narrative, calling us warmongers, claiming our data was fabricated, but several junior member species are demanding explanations about Operation Harvest." On another screen, news broadcasts played from across the galaxy. The Vexta News Network had gone rogue, broadcasting daily updates about Council military movements. Protests erupted on the homeworld of the Kiln, another restricted species. Even some Council loyalists showed signs of doubt. "The Council's propaganda machine is working overtime," James Wright observed. "They're painting us as technological thieves who somehow acquired advanced shields through espionage." Lisa Brooks entered with updated security reports. "Our defense grid is holding. All 12 human colonies have successfully implemented Protocol Omega. Planetary shields active. Military fleets patrolling at maximum readiness." Carter removed his suit jacket and rolled up his sleeves. The weight of responsibility showed in dark circles under his eyes. "What about their invasion fleet?" "Dispersed but still active, General," Hayes answered. "Small task forces are probing our borders, testing response times, probably looking for defensive weaknesses." Steve Miller joined via holographic projection from his flagship. "Admiral Thompson reports increased Council reconnaissance. They're especially interested in our shield technology. Multiple attempts to capture ships intact for study. They want to prove we stole the technology from them," Carter realized. "If they can claim we're using modified Council tech, it undermines our entire position." Rachel pulled up new analysis. "There's more. The Vexta representative contacted us privately. They're offering to share trade routes that bypass Council checkpoint systems in exchange for defensive shield plans." The room fell silent. This was the first concrete offer of support from another species. "What's their motivation?" Carter asked. "The Vexta pay 40% tribute to the Council. General Hayes explained. They want protection from economic exploitation. If human shields can hold off the Council fleet, suddenly their bargaining position improves. Carter weighed the implications. Creating alliances meant sharing military technology, but staying isolated invited defeat. Set up a secure meeting, he decided. But we share defensive tech only, and we verify their commitment first. The next days brought a flood of diplomatic activity. The Gorth, amphibious traders who controlled major shipping lanes, proposed a mutual defense pact. The Sakari Unity, master engineers who designed many Council ships, offered to provide technical specifications of enemy weaknesses. Every species has grievances, Rachel noted during their daily briefing. The Council built their empire on tribute and technical restrictions. They kept everyone dependent, were offering an alternative. But the Council wasn't passive. Their propaganda evolved. Newly released statements accused humans of dangerous experiments with reality-warping technology. They warned other species about containment field failures that could destroy entire star systems. They're trying to scare people, James Wright analyzed. Making our shields sound like doomsday weapons, classic psychological warfare. The strategy worked partially. Some species contacted Earth demanding responsible oversight of human defensive technology. Others requested detailed safety assessments before opening trade negotiations. 2 months after the walkout, Captain Miller returned from patrol with concerning news. We intercepted a Council courier ship. They're moving significant resources toward Sector 94. But here's the interesting part. He displayed their intercepted data. They're not massing for attack, they're building something. A massive construction project requiring industrial ships and mining equipment. Location? Carter demanded. Just outside the neutral zone. Perfectly. Positioned to monitor human colonies without technically violating peace treaties. Rachel's analysis was swift. A monitoring station. They want to study our shield technology from safe distance. Maybe develop countermeasures. Or provoke us into attacking first, General Hayes suggested. Give them justification for a full military response. Carter stared at the star map. The Council was adapting faster than expected. Their ancient bureaucracy was finding flexibility when survival demanded it. We need to stay ahead of them, he declared. Lisa, increase patrols around their construction site. Document everything but maintain our defensive posture. No aggressive moves. Over the following weeks, human intelligence gathered evidence. The Council was 3 months after the walkout. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted dramatically. Daniel Carter stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, watching ships arrive from across known space. But these weren't Council warships. They were diplomatic vessels from species seeking new alliances. Ambassador Carter, Rachel Martinez approached with data tablets in hand. Representatives from 14 more systems have requested meetings. The Vexta delegation expanded their trade proposal to include advanced medical technology in exchange for shield plans. Carter nodded, watching a sleek Sakari vessel dock. Their expertise in ship design had proven invaluable for understanding Council military capabilities. What about the monitoring station the Council is building? Still under construction, James Wright reported. But here's something interesting. Our deep space sensors detected unusual energy signatures. They're installing equipment we've never seen before. The doors opened, admitting their newest ally. Krixall, the Sakari engineering master, moved on multiple articulated legs. His species had designed and built most Council ships for centuries. Their defection had sent shockwaves through established power structures. Ambassador Carter, Krixall's translator hummed, I bring troubling news. The Council's monitoring station uses technology I helped design. They're building an observation platform that can detect quantum signatures from shield generators. They're studying our shields to find weaknesses, Lisa Brooks concluded, her security assessment immediate. Precisely, Krixall confirmed. But they're also attempting something more ambitious. That station includes a prototype for what we called Project Mirror, a device that could potentially copy and reverse engineer shield frequencies. Carter processed this information quickly. The Council wasn't just observing. They were actively working to neutralize humanity's main defensive advantage. Can we counter this technology? He asked. Crixol's multiple eyes blinked in sequence. The Sakari know the weaknesses in our own designs. With your quantum computing capabilities, we could modify your shield frequencies faster than they can adapt. This was the reality of the new power dynamic. Species that had served the Council for centuries possessed intimate knowledge of their systems. Combined with human innovation, these defectors created a formidable challenge to established order. Over the following weeks, secret alliances solidified. The Vexed approved their commitment by providing detailed maps of hidden jump routes that avoided Council patrol zones. The Gorth master traders established discrete supply lines to human colonies, bypassing Council economic controls. Even more surprisingly, lower-ranked Council species began making contact. The Minari, a species relegated to research duties, offered to share suppressed scientific data in exchange for research partnerships. The Dren, traditional Council members, sent private messages suggesting possibilities for neutral mediation. The Council isn't as unified as they appeared, Rachel noted during strategy sessions. 8,000 years of dominance created internal resentments. We've given dissatisfied species an alternative to consider. But the Council still possessed massive military superiority. Their latest census showed over 3,000 active warships compared to humanity's 200 vessels. They had experience in galactic warfare. They controlled major trade routes and resource systems. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. A heavily damaged courier ship dropped out of quantum space near the human colony of New Providence. Its pilot, identified as Council Operator Designation TX-7742, requested emergency asylum. The ship's from the monitoring station, the pilot revealed after receiving medical treatment. The prototype they're building? It's unstable. They pushed testing too far. The energy feedback destroyed 3 research vessels. James Wright studied the provided data. They're playing with technology they don't fully understand, trying to brute force a solution to our shields without the quantum computing framework needed for stability. Carter saw an opportunity. Prepare a response team. We're going to help them. Sir? General Hayes questioned the approach. We can't let their experimentation cause a catastrophic incident near the neutral zone, Carter explained. If that station explodes, it could destabilize space-time in the entire sector. Plus, assisting them demonstrates our commitment to peace despite their hostility. The mission launched quickly. 3 human ships, led by the USS Determination, approached the Council monitoring station. Their appearance triggered immediate defensive responses. Council ships powered weapons and raised shields. Attention Council vessels, Carter broadcast. We have defector information about critical failures in your prototype system. We're offering technical assistance to prevent disaster. Initial rejection came immediately. The Council commander ordered human ships to maintain distance. Pride prevented acceptance of offered help from those they considered inferior. Then, the station's energy readings spiked dramatically. Alarms blared across multiple ships as space-time distortions appeared around the installation. Station is experiencing cascading failure, Rachel reported. Quantum field collapse imminent. If it goes critical, the explosion will affect a 5 light-year radius. Without waiting for permission, human ships moved forward. Shield technology that the Council coveted now protected their work crews as they attempted repairs. Human engineers worked alongside Council technicians, sharing data to stabilize the dangerous prototype. For 6 hours, natural enemies cooperated to prevent catastrophe. The crisis ended with the station powered down safely, its experimental systems disabled. You saved our station, the Council commander admitted over secure channels, and likely prevented a diplomatic incident that would have ignited full war. We prevented a tragedy, Carter corrected. Technology should serve all species, not destroy them. This incident shifted perceptions throughout the galaxy. Neutral observers recorded humans choosing assistance over revenge. Species that had considered siding with the Council reconsidered their positions. Even hardcore loyalists found their convictions shaken. The political climate continued evolving. Council influence waned as more species established independent relationships with humanity. The rigid tribute system began showing strain as member species negotiated better terms, using Earth's alliance as leverage. 6 months after the failed negotiations, Chancellor Vexthor contacted Earth directly. The crystalline leader's tone lacked its previous arrogance. Ambassador Carter, Vexthor's message played across command center monitors. The Council recognizes that circumstances have changed. We request a new round of discussions. True discussions. Not ultimatums. Carter studied the faces of his team. They'd started this journey prepared for war but fighting for peace. Now former enemies acknowledged human equality. Draft a response, he instructed Rachel. We'll meet them halfway. In the neutral zone. No military fleets within 50 light years. No hidden agendas. Just representatives of equals discussing the future. The new peace talks began 3 weeks later. This time, the meeting venue was a converted asteroid station staffed by neutral Gorth personnel. Both human and council delegations arrived with small security details and open communications channels. Vexthor himself attended, along with representatives from all 7 council species. But the chamber also hosted delegates from 30 other civilizations. The era of secret backroom decisions had ended. We propose a restructuring of galactic governance, Carter began. The council system has served its purpose but must evolve. We suggest expanding membership, creating trade partnerships based on mutual benefit, establishing technology sharing programs where all species contribute and benefit equally. The negotiations lasted weeks. Complex issues required detailed solutions. Territory disputes needed careful mediation. Security concerns demanded transparent protocols. But for the first time in 8,000 years, the galaxy's dominant powers negotiated with newcomers as equals. The resulting agreement, the Galactic Cooperation Accords, reshaped interstellar politics. The Council expanded to include 5 new member species, with provisions for future additions. Tribute payments were replaced by voluntary development funds. Technology sharing became the foundation of prosperity rather than hoarded advantage. Human colonies gained official recognition. Earth received full trading rights and military sovereignty. The shield technology that had triggered the crisis became freely available for peaceful defensive purposes, with humans and Sicari engineers teaching its principles to all interested species. 1 year after walking out of forced negotiations, Daniel Carter watched ships from 200 civilizations gather for the first Galactic Cooperative Council session. Humanity had entered the stars expecting to find its place in an established order. Instead, they had helped rebuild that order from the ground up. Ambassador Carter, a young aide, approached with news. The Zorax delegation wants to thank you personally. They said humanity's example inspired them to challenge their own traditionalist factions. Carter smiled, remembering the Silicon warrior who had once blocked his exit from the station. The galaxy's greatest military threat had transformed into advocates for change within their own species. As artificial gravity adjusted to accommodate different physiologies, as translators harmonized hundreds of languages,